Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring. Four sides of the ring. Everybody out here got an opinion. Your ego shall die in the ring. If the debate's getting heated, we heating. You know it's been fire in the ring. We them guys in the ring. Leave with your pride in the sling. Four sides of the ring.
Welcome to another episode of Four Sides of the Ring. And me, it's your boy, it's your host, Channel, whoever you need me to meet. Tommaso Channel, Channel Rose, Channel Cena, Channel Theory, Channel the God, the Dean of Hate You. And I'm back with another wonderful episode. I'm with the one and only, the one that makes you say, fuck, it's him again. There's trivia, fuck. The one and only, God damn, it's Nick Ram. How we doing today, brother?
I'm doing great.
He's
great.
alive. My man's been day drinking all day. But we're gonna have that makes for great conversation. And I'm here with the honorary Puerto Rican, Miguelito himself, Mikey Boricua.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I was doing worse. Honestly, I was having a terrible day. But hearing that introduction from Chano just washed it completely off me. After that, I can feel the rain on my skin, and my inhibitions are ready to be released here tonight. Much like Nit Ram, probably will be releasing most of what he consumed here today at some point on this show. So great to be back.
Nice to hear it. And I know he's a little worried because he's the last one, but I'm doing this to fuck with him a little bit. Where do I go? My good brother.
I do it.
The one and only, the wrestling guru's guru, your favorite wrestling analyst, favorite analyst. How we doing today, Brady?
Hey, man. I'm over here cracking up because it's like, all right, cool. 2 weeks in a row. Last one being introduced. Again, folks, he's setting me up. It's an alley. It's all good. But it's good to be back with the boys, talking some good old wrestling. It was an interesting week, so I'm looking forward to talking some wrestling with the boys.
All right, so before we get into anything, and we're gonna start our show, how we've been starting our show for a while now, we're gonna play a game called "Where is the Zombie King Wrestling?"
Where the fuck is Ant?
At March 7th. Oh, that was 2 weeks ago. I hope he won and had fun. March 14th. I hope he had a great time. March 27th, Hudson Catholic High School at 790 Bergen Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. Benefit for the Jersey City PAO. And is on his card. What is he doing? If I can read it real quick. Junior Flow versus NIW. I don't know who you are, buddy, but we're coming for you, brother. So that's what my brother's doing. We got another card for him. Junior Flow versus Rulo, March 21st. That is this Saturday. Tonight's gonna be the night that I will find for you. Listen, Brady, I don't know what the fingernail polish and that cutoff shirt will do for you, but my man Zombie King's about to expose you. And this is at PWM. Do you got another card for my boy? Mark is gonna have to help me with this one. MJ Live, somewhere in Jersey, not Jersey, somewhere in Vegas. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't remember it, but this is Santana Jackson. He does a Michael Jackson live in Vegas. Show some love to our good brothers and just show some love, please.
He's awesome.
Simple.
Please support your local indies, man.
Always show love.
If you do like wrestling, you do love wrestling, like you guys say, you guys love wrestling. Support your local indie.
Yeah.
Go around the corner. Go the next town over. And
tickets are usually cheap, get a good show, see some upcoming stars, say, hey, I got to see that superstar before they were a superstar.
You never know. The business that is hosting the wrestling event is almost going to be going out of business, and it's like the one last ditch effort for them to save their business. And you got to go and you support it, but unfortunately the business ends up closing down. But hey, look, the pro wrestling is still good in the indie scene, so support your local indies.
And hey, and with that, there's always crazy things that happen in closing shows. So it's always a spectacle.
You never
MJ
know
Live
in WWE or AEW.
It's the voice. It's the voice of God, guys. It's the voice of God. God, talk to us. What's going on?
You You can find our guy Santana Jackson, MJ Live at the Harrison Hotel Casino in Las Vegas.
God.
Thank you, God. Thank you for your wise wisdom. I've always doubted his existence, but to know that he's here
I was
with
always
us.
told I need to find God, so I guess I finally
He found you. He found you.
Me. You know, cheers to that.
Listen, and another
And we
brand
found
new
each
segment
other.
in the worst possible time. Listen, I'm not gonna hold you. If I ever found God like in the middle while recording, I'd probably question my life. I'm like, why now? For our dozens and dozens and dozens of viewers at
suddenly,
home.
like everyone just, we start heading towards the sky.
True.
Well, at least some of us.
So time for our brand new
Chano
segment.
and
We've
me
been doing
are
this for a couple of weeks. It is time to mark our calendars. Tino, take us away. What irrelevant wrestling event happened 75 years ago?
Well, speaking of which, it's another installment of Marking the Calendar. Mike kind of tossed this up. Speaking of closing shows, on this day, 2001, WCW hosted its final pay-per-view, Agreed, where we got to see Scott Steiner retain the belt against Diamond Dallas Page. But the biggest part of that match, or that night, we had Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes have a tag team match between Jeff Jarrett and Ric Flair. That sticks out simply because I always see a clip. You always kind of see Jeff Jarrett kissing a donkey's ass on live TV. That was that event. Happened on this day. Another on this day little nugget, 2000, the debut of Trish Stratus. She debuted on this day in 2000, Sunday Night Heat. We all know what she went on to do, 7-time women champion. Went on to be the first woman, along with Lita, to main event a Monday Night Raw. That happened a few years later, I believe 04, 05. And last one, still relevant today, the next big thing, 2002, Brock Lesnar makes his debut on this day, 2002, interrupting a hardcore match between Maven and Al Snow. I believe Spike Dudley was there, and he just came in, wrecked top, beat everyone ass, and we all know what he went out to do. Later on that year in SummerSlam, he went on to beat The Rock, starting his seven-time reign as champion. And just a little on this day. So we kept it in the 2000s channel, kind of relevant. But yeah.
Thank God, because he was texting me. He was like, bro, did you know the first time a tornado DDT was done was in 58?
Gorgeous George had the best finisher of the whole 50s.
I was like, what are we talking about? He's like, bro, you don't understand. This guy, his finisher was just a scoop slam. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. I'm happy for him. But yeah, that is marking our calendar. Listen, I don't know if you guys saw the episode title, but this is Once Upon a Time in the Ring based on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Coming off the heels of AEW Revolution in LA. We're gonna give AEW some love this week. Honestly, between WrestleMania going on, there's a lot of repeated conversations. We'll touch on some things later on in the show, what's going on with current events. But other than that, let's show love to the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world, some AEW, with some AEW recap from Revolution. We had the Tornadoes Trios match, Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Darby Allin versus the War Dogs. Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, and David Finlay. You know what's mad funny? I was looking at Clark Connors in that match. I was like, who is this guy? It's like, who is he? The conglomerate featuring Darby Allin picked up the dub. That was whatever. Everyone banned from ringside. Timeless Tony Storm versus Marina Shafir. Good match. A lot of false finishes, which is kind of the reoccurring theme for the show.
One boob bite.
Yeah, but the match was good. But the more important piece of this match was after the match, with the reemergence into wrestling, Miss Ronda Rousey. So I want to ask you guys, looking at Ram, just smiling, cheesing. He's just happy to be here. Knit Ram, you're happy about this. Tell me why you're so happy about why Ronda Rousey touched the back of wrestling ring, especially AEW.
Okay. One, I'm gonna go on record to say Ronda's not that great of a wrestler, but
Oh, no shit, Sherlock.
but fact, the woman sells out arenas. Fact, she's a megastar. Fact, she has a big UFC Netflix fight coming up. Ronda Rousey is an attention grabber. She brings people in. I watched this pay-per-view in my living room. My dad watched movies on his tablet. I don't know. He wanted to sit in the living room with me. He paused his movie. Fun fact: he paused his movie and said, "Is that Ronda Rousey?" Without hearing the commentary or nothing. And I said, "Yes." And he said, "That's pretty cool." And then continued his movie. She is a draw. Now, from what I understand, she's not all elite. She's just here to do a couple appearances and sponsor the Netflix fight. But if she is all elite with Marina Shafir, that is perfect, because I definitely said, you guys, all my witnesses in the chat, I said Megan Bain and Old Girl are too big to not have reliable threats in the tag team division, and this would be a reliable threat. So I like Ronda. She said some controversy stuff in the past. She's apologized. We should have had Trey Miguel if this is the case. I 100% agree on that point.
All right,
but we are what we are.
Let's not touch that, because that's kind of like a ricochet tingy that we need to be involved. Mike, I'm gonna save you for last time. Mike, I'm gonna save you for last on this one, because I know you're counterpointing Netram. Tino, how do you feel about Ronda Rousey?
Honestly, at first, I cared. I mean, it's Ronda Rousey. I could care less for everything outside the ring. I think, as we all know, she's a big name. She brings a lot of eyes, which is what AEW needs to do, especially with WrestleMania right around the corner. As we all have been talking about, this is the opportunity for AEW to do something big, and bringing Ronda Rousey in definitely does that. The only thing, post Revolution last night was Dynamite. Not trying to jump ahead. I'm keeping it on the Ronda Rousey thing, because there was no Ronda Rousey. So just due to that, I kind of don't care. There was no follow up on it. And it's just making me just question, just because I'm a little bit confused on what's going on with that storyline. I guess Nitram kind of explained it by shoring up the tag division, but we don't know who attacked Tony. Was it Ronda? Was it Mina? Was it who was it? We don't know who it was. So not too excited about it. Hopefully they do something with it. It being no follow-up kind of took away that excitement for me.
All right, and Miguelito, the floor is yours.
Oh my goodness, man. Ronda Rousey in the year of 2026, who we think is moving needles, we think is something that you want to bring into your professional wrestling company that you've built so hard to say, we're not like them over there. We don't do this type of shit. We don't do this. We're not like them. We wrestle over here. Listen, you want to bring her in, sure. You want to get a little spot on Netflix with this little fucking fake fight that her and former Mandalorian actress is going to get on in the ring. Go for it. You know, we're going to tease something with Timeless Tony Storm, you know, that's going to lead into the whodunit mystery murder on AEW this week. I don't want to see Ronda Rousey anywhere near a professional wrestling ring. Okay, 1, 2. If this helps AEW get some viewers, great for them. I guess it's a smart move for them as a business, but as the fans, and you can tell the fans there were like, "Oh, hey, it's Ronda." Like, it doesn't really. Okay, cool.
To add on to your point, Mike, it's not like she left wrestling on great terms either.
No, she went out kicking and screaming, complaining about every last person she could possibly complain about.
Yes, 1,000%. She was like, "There's no reason. Like, if this was a real fight, I'd beat the out of you." You know what I mean?
I'd kill her. Like, oh yeah, we get it. We get it. You're a lethal weapon. Like, we understand you're a lethal weapon, but like, this is a business too. Exactly. And you have to respect. If you want to be in this business, respect it. Right? That's the key point here.
And that is the key point.
She comes from a Vince era, though.
It doesn't matter.
I don't give a fuck whatever she came.
Look, I'm just saying she talks shit. She was talking shit about a Vince era.
You know why guys like Kurt Angle, Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, all were able to transition and do the things that they're able to do because they respected the business.
I mean, look. I'm on the side of thinking maybe maybe like CM Punk, she changed. Maybe she doesn't have that perspective.
There's no change. There's no change because
and another
came
thing
into it for a payday.
No, I mean, and besides that, that may be true, but of course too with AEW, as we all know, it is more wrestling based. There is a little bit more freedom for the talent. So maybe, she could choose who she wants to work with, what woman could kind of take, her being rough around the edges or whatever. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe she grew and learned from her mistakes. Who knows?
The money drying up and TK willing to pay it. That's honestly all that it comes down to at this point. But I do want to move on. I do want to move on because I feel like NetRam could talk about Ronda Rousey all day, and I just
want to say I think her debut was wrong.
Of course it was wrong. Of course it was wrong.
I don't think
they were in LA. They were like, LA will pop for this.
Well, no, I don't think that match had to happen. I think they could have did a contract signing. You could have saved so much time. Marina could have been like, the only way I'm going to beat a former champion is by having a former champion, which would have led speculation in the pause where people think Britt Baker was coming back. So they keep thinking Britt Baker's coming back. And then you would have heard Ronda's music. And then she never said former champion in her own company. And I think it would have had the same attack, the same social media buzz, the same everything without wasting 30 minutes of a match.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work because Marina's been booked as the baddest woman alive on the show.
Marina lost to a roll-up. You could have saved that face.
Storm's beating everyone with that fucking roll-up.
It doesn't matter.
You could have saved face. Is all I'm saying.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're moving on because this is
publicity. This is to get AEW on that Netflix boxing special. Which one of you said it? One of you said it. Someone, if it was God, if whoever it was that said it, take credit for it because it's just so that they get presence.
It's just to get more eyes. Yes, it's just to get.
WWE is going to have a heavy presence there. AEW wants a piece of that.
Just a little bit. Let's talk about the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship match. The Babes of Wrath, Harley Cameron, TBS champion Willing Nightingale, who pulled double duty, by the way, against Lina Cross, versus the Mega Sis Megan Bayne and Colossal Lina Cross. This was good wrestling. No, this was not good wrestling women graps. This was a slobber knocker. I went to go get some juice, came back, the match was over. We have new women's tag team champions. It feels like this has been the plan for a while, and they took advantage of Willow doing double duty and being exhausted and messing the shoulder up just to save Willow some face. Is there any thoughts about this match, or can we just move on?
Sad to say, at least for me, I'm guilty of that being my margarita match. So
if that was a margarita match, brother, you must have been chugging because that match was over before you even filled it to the top.
You didn't even finish making the margarita when that happened.
Yeah, I like you said, went to the kitchen, came back. I was like, oh, okay,
that was over.
It was what it needed to be for what they've been wanting to do this whole time. Unfortunately with the Penelope Ford injury and then having to pivot and then finding Lina Cross, getting her established in this group. You gotta give credit to Lina Cross too. She puts on double duty with Willow that same night.
I will say before we move on with Revolution's card, I will say I wonder if you guys agree. To me, so far, I think Revolution was probably the best pay-per-view AEW put on in a little while. It was a really great pay-per-view. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. It was a dope pay-per-view. Besides that first match
let's keep reviewing the rest of the cards to see if we have that opinion. We have the AEW World Trios Championship match. The Don Callis family, all 87 members. God damn, everybody's a champion in this goddamn faction. International champion, the Rainmaker, Okada TNT champion, Protostar Kyle Fletcher, and Mike Davis. Shout out to Mike Davis for coming back to wrestling. Versus Jet Speed and Místico. And they all came out in Místico masks. Messing me up. So sorry, guys. This was cool. I'm gonna keep it about, guys. I don't see what the hype is about Mike Bailey. I try every single week. I just don't see it. Is it the kicks? Am I missing something with the kicks?
I got scared. No, because my buddy said the same thing. I got scared because I don't see the thing, and I heard M, and I thought he was going to say Místico. Oh, Místico signed. Good signing. You got a legend.
What is the match? The match, Místico being signed is cool, but man, listen, AEW is doing the CMLL what he was doing in New Japan. He's gutting them dry. What's going to happen?
Dual contract going on.
There's a dual contract.
Well,
that's just legal for your hours.
Yeah, bro.
When that other contract ends.
You'll come when we call.
1,000%. So we have a new trio champion. Honestly, I think I missed like 2 weeks of AEW because I remember Jet Speed having the trios belt. I didn't even know when they lost it to the Don Callis family, but I guess it was to switch Hangman out.
Yeah,
in a sense. Because I swear to God, 2 weeks ago they were the champions, but they got the belt, they got the shafts back. So 2-time trio champions. We have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match: FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood versus with Big Stoke, greatest manager of our era. That man is a GOAT. Nobody could tell me otherwise. I love Stokely. I watched the match strictly for Stokely shenanigans. Versus the moderately aged Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. This was the fifth iteration of the Bucks versus FTR. At this point, I'm exhausted.
You're going to 7.
I hope not.
I love it.
Yeah, I was
going to You're a sick individual. You're a sick individual.
They came out in Lakers and Boston Celtic colors.
Oh, what do you do?
This is the rivalry for the decades.
Okay, listen.
Mike,
I'm gonna take the mic here for a second because I lost my train of thought. Just Sano wanted to say it was a really good pay-per-view right in the middle of some shit I was going to say about Megan Bain and that whole situation. Completely lost that train of thought. Channel's flying through matches, so I haven't had a chance to get a fucking peep in. So I want to take it back here just a sec. I want to go back here, one match here to the trios match, okay, with Místico, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Jet, what's his name, Kenny Knight. I forgot his fucking name. Whatever.
Kevin Knight.
Against the Don Callis family. Because some personal notes here. For whatever reason, I love the Don Callis family with their matching coordinated varsity jackets and trunks. I don't know why, but it popped me for some reason. Absolutely adored Místico and Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight rocking the Místico inspired masks. That was a really freaking great match from my perspective. That was one of that was a top 5 match on the card for me out of like the 10 matches we saw. The other thing I want to say about this is we need to break up the Don Callis family. That's just to get Marcus excited backstage. The other thing now I want to talk about is FTR and the Young Bucks. I don't need more of them. They're not okay. What they do in their wrestling matches is incredible. Every one of their matches has been spectacular. Tag team professional wrestling. But I did not see anything new and different from them at this point. That means you got to pump the brakes a little bit and let this take a back burner with those two teams for a bit and then come back to the drawing board in an inevitable situation later on when you've got some new material for the matches. Because I didn't see anything in that match that felt different than the other 3 matches that I've watched between those teams. Channel, back to you in sports.
I will say, I guess pushing back on what Mike said with the FTR and Young Bucks, I could see because a lot of people do feel that way. So I guess just for me personally, like I just kind of learned to appreciate that rivalry, just kind of like in sports away from wrestling, like 10 years ago when it was like Cavs and Golden State in the finals every year. After a while you kind of got tired of it, but now looking back, it's kind of like that was a pretty good era of basketball. And it's kind of the same thing I feel what TK is trying to do with the tag division, at least with those 2 teams. It's kind of 10 years from now, you look back at that best of 7 potentially, or however many matches they end up having in AEW. And it's kind of like, you know what, it was a lot, but looking back, they did have a lot of great matches. So I agree with Mike, but I also kind of disagree just because on a personal, I just kind of learned to appreciate the rivalry, even if it's a lot.
Also,
self-proclaimed wrestling guru over here.
Wait.
Also,
Matt,
I think it's crazy that we're talking about a 5-match rivalry compared to like when we talk about the Usos and the New Day, who wrestled 44 times, and people will be like, "That is the legendary. That is a legendary feud." This and that.
Why are we talking about WWE right now?
Because I'm trying to see how hypocritical it is.
See, you're the tribalist. Why are
it's
you?
hypocritical that we're comparing a 5-star and you guys are tired of it. But I've heard you guys multiple times talk about how great the New Day and Usos were back in the day, and they wrestled 44 times. I just googled it, 44 fucking times.
Okay, first off, you're at a 10.
Anyone said that rivalry was tiring?
First off, you're at a 10. I need you at a 7, respectfully.
I'll tune it down.
I need you at a 7. But yeah, nobody's talking about WWE, and we're not allowed to be tired of a feud because they're 5 matches in. Do you want to see it 39 more times before you're sick and tired of it?
Yes.
No, I'm tired of it now. Bro, that's
oh God! Oh,
Marcus painted that himself.
Get out of here with this. Get this off.
Yeah, but listen, we're allowed to be tired of FTR and the Young Bucks. Only because for the most of the reason is the first match they did magical. They kind of recreated for the second one. The third match, third, fourth, and fifth match, they telling the story of we know each other so well, we can pull off each other's moves for you. Yes, NetRam is very.
Hey, I don't know. That's my boy though.
Hugh, what gave you that idea? What told you he was lit?
See, this is the problem people have with wrestling. They take both companies and they mash them all together, and we start drawing these comparisons. As a podcast, right? We have to start structuring it like when we talk about AEW. NitRam, don't get excited because 44 times the Usos and the New Day wrestled in WWE. That has nothing to necessarily do here with what we're talking about for AEW. We're just talking AEW.
NitRam don't care about that. He's a tribal chief right now. Haha.
He's the tribal. He is the tribalism that they warn you about in school.
Everything they talk about on Twitter is true. It's on NitRam.
Listen.
We are allowed to be tired with this. But it is what it is. Next match. Wait. I'm missing the best part of this match. The best part of this match was after the match with the return of 2 50-year-olds.
Wow.
Christian Cage and Adam Copeland.
Horrible.
The Senior Citizen Center finally opened the gates and let them
You're
out.
looking at your future tag team chance right there, channel. Put some respect on.
TK told him, listen, we got tapioca in the back, gentlemen. Do you want to come for a bite of tapioca pudding? And they say, yum. We love tapioca. And that's why these old guys came back.
Hey, man, they're coming for gold. Put some respect
on
them.
It's true. They're 100 years. They were 100 years old between them. If Christian Cage isn't talking about fathers, I don't want him on my television.
You know what that means? That means they have experience and knowledge in that ring to win another championship when they go up against.
Neck is held together with popsicle sticks and hot glue. What are we talking about? Big
Edge takes 4.
I think for once I'm agreeing with you guys. This was not needed.
Edge takes
I'm all aboard the last hurrah train for Edge and Christian. Like, if we need to get them together one more final time, as long as it doesn't turn into like the Dudley situation where every 5 years Dudley's like, one last time to
That's
get
so true.
Get the tables, brother. Testify.
So
as long as we're not pulling that every 5 years, like if we're gonna just do the swan song for Edge and Christian, and then we're gonna let these contracts expire, let Christian go get his WWE Hall of Fame spot that he's owed. So be it. Let's just run it. Let's get it done. Let's get it over with. Like, give me compelling wrestling TV. That's all I ask. If we're gonna do it, let's do it right. And Tony seems to know what to do with the old guys. Listen. Tony's running one of the best senior care facilities out there.
Yeah.
Mike with the "Can we just all get along" speech.
Why can't we be friends?
So talking about a string of returns, it was Swerve versus who? Who did Swerve face this week?
Brody King.
It was Brody, right? It was Swerve versus Brody King. Good match.
A banger match.
Good match.
It was a really good match, but the most important part of that match was the return of Kenny Omega.
Swerve
He was gone for 2.5 weeks. So can you even really call it a return?
Yeah, because Kenny about died.
You said that, but he's
Here's
still
a guy who's
outstanding.
missing like 3 yards of intestine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
You
It's
know,
nuts. Other
he don't
match
got
we
much.
have.
He don't got much left, bro. He's. We need to appreciate while he's around.
I don't have to appreciate nada, but I do appreciate Kenny Omega. We have the AEW Continental Championship. No time limit, even though it's 23 minutes and they could have got through a regular thing. John Moxley, the champion, versus the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita.
5 stars.
Heavy hitter.
Margarita match.
I'm not a Mox fan, but I am a Takeshita fan. I love.
I enjoy Mox matches.
That was not it. That was not a pay-per-view match. That was a really dynamite match, written all over it. I had no, honestly, it felt out of place on that card, and that's tough for me to say with Takeshita and Mox in that, because Mox has gained my respect, genuinely.
I thought that match was really good. There was one match where I think didn't belong on the card, but it wasn't this match.
I thought the Darby War Dogs match was a
That's the one that I would agree.
That was a margarita match.
It didn't belong to be on the card.
You know what match I didn't think belonged on the card? Bandita versus Andrade. But
I'll fight you right now. I'm going to New York.
That's just an Andrade. That's just an Andrade flexing, dude. He's like,
that match was the second best match on the card, hands down.
It was in the top 5. It was number 5.
It was a really good match.
I'll tell you what. It was in the top 9 of all 9 matches on the card. So the most important part about the John Mox versus Takeshita was the return of Will Ospreay. I'm not gonna hold you guys.
Ospreay.
I thought Ospreay was gonna be out for longer, but my man's pulled up, running, full sprint, excited to be out there, almost re-injured the neck.
Yep.
And that he got
scary spot.
But he's back. So now we have the return of Kenny Omega. We have the return of Will Ospreay. We have Cope and Cage, the seniors, back. What does this look for AEW from here on out?
For the first time in years, AEW has all its stars for All In.
Yeah,
I think that's
they're fully loaded. They
got
all
the stars, but Tony Storm is out indefinitely.
That's confusing.
It is.
She'll be back.
They actually made it look like that she literally took one right to the back of the head.
She's Seth Rollins.
That's crazy. But I think it's gonna be like a story where she's gonna come back as it's gonna be Timeless Tony is done. She's overworked it. She's gonna come back as a new Tony Storm, and I think that's what they did. They effectively killed the Timeless Tony Storm for a rebirth of a new Tony Storm that we'll see soon.
I would.
Storm. You remember the new Tony Storm?
Tony Storm.
I would agree.
Storm is out.
Maybe an evil character. Maybe she's gonna go supernatural with this.
I don't think a gimmick change would be good for Tony. I think you just kind of leave Tony how she is. I would agree with Mike only if maybe I'm overthinking it, but just kind of the point to Tony Storm and kind of them having that face to face. It has to be, not that it has to be, but I feel it has to be like some type of story. You can't just write off Tony Storm after having what happened with Revolution and then having whatever happened with her in Dynamite and then like her leaving TV for a few months and coming back as a new character. AEW moves way too fast, and I just feel they don't do good with kind of reminding the audience of what happened. So to take her away from TV for some time and like repackage her, I don't know if that would work.
On a counter argument, it worked when she had amnesia and she was rookie Tony Storm.
Yeah.
That shit worked great.
It's true, but if you could do it again, it's kind of like I don't know if you would want to do that. But again, it might work because, like you just said, it did work. But to kind of play that card again, it's kind of like we know what's going to be at the end of it. She's going to be like timeless at the end of whatever gimmick she would fall into. So I don't know.
I think there's something else in store here, and indefinitely could mean a month, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. It is, we don't necessarily know. This could be a situation where she's back right in time for the build to All In.
Yep.
I'm not too pressed about this. Honestly, I'm honestly intrigued about this because this is now a whodunit. They've left who's in the background of the locker room of Megan Bain's hammer and barbed wire and other various.
Literally, like you said, I'm intrigued. Well, at least for me, I'm intrigued as well, but also because I guess I'm kind of confused by it all. So it's kind of like I want my confusion to clear. So I'll always be tuning in.
And it's either Ronda Rousey or it's Mina. Those are the all-in matches opportunities. And then it's
All right,
Mina. We team Mina, baby.
I disagree.
All right, we had Andrade versus Bandito.
5
To
stars.
piss Net Ram off, I'm gonna skip right past it. Andrade's decent. AEW Women's World Championship match. 2 out of 3 falls. The Toxic Spider Tekla, the champion, versus Chris Statlander. I missed this match, but I did see Tekla retained. What's next for Chris Statlander? In my mind, my personal opinion, she's solidified and she doesn't need the championship to be a main event star.
100% agree with you. I'm also going to say, who cares what's next for Chris Statlander? What's up with Tekla? She's too cool. She's too cool. She's too cool to be with Sky Blue. She's too cool to be with Julia Hart. She is too good. She could be the face of the company in less than 6 months. Because she's that good. And I don't think they have the star power to line up her opponents. I really don't.
Well, it's inevitable Megan Bain beats her, so.
Yeah.
I will say this. Tekla, I've said it a few times already before. Tekla's definitely grown on me this last couple of months because I wasn't too familiar with her. So I do think her holding on to that title is obviously best for business, which is why they kept it on her. Just as Nitram said, Statlander is at this point is established to where she don't really need a title. But I think that's the match right there. I'm kind of just piggybacking off of everyone right now. Like Megan Bain against Tekla, I think is the money match. I mean, I personally would rather see Megan Bain with the strap just because she has the look factor for me. She would just look great with a title. Not that Tekla doesn't, but I think Megan Bain should definitely get that title sooner than later. But it was a hell of a matchup.
So we have Chano, you want to see Nitram pop a blood vessel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead and ask that question again. What's next for Chris Statlander?
What's next for Chris Statlander?
NXT.
We have the AEW World Championship Texas Death Match, MJF versus Hangman Adam Page. And it feels like Hangman doesn't catch a W in these matches. I don't even know why he does them at this point.
It's like 0-3.
He got fucking
dog
walked.
Yeah, it was
until this match.
He lost to Swerve. What are you talking about?
In Texas Death Match.
He lost to Swerve.
Not in a Texas Death Match. He lost in the cage.
He lost to Swerve.
They said he was undefeated.
And they lied to you. He lost to Swerve.
Was that not the chain match?
He went 0-3 against Swerve.
Let's have God fact check us. Let's just have God.
He went 0-3 against Swerve until he killed him at All Out in that steel cage unsanctioned match.
He's 5-2.
It's crazy how 5-2 and undefeated are two different things.
Two different things.
Hey, I'm saying what they said, bro.
Commentary be lying to you.
Excalibur's always wrong. What are you talking about? Somebody needs
you
to
know what?
Excalibur.
AEW doesn't respect you guys enough to think that you guys remember what happened in previous matches. That's honestly what this boils down to. They don't respect you.
You have to take Tally.
Look at that man.
Sure.
Honestly, MJF is the face of the franchise. He is the absolute superstar of AEW. It's him and Tony Storm carrying the goddamn brand on their shoulders, and they got a good thing going. Adam Page is that guy. I can't shit on Hangman. Hangman has grown on me since All In when he was in that trios match. That man is an absolute stud. He can never challenge for the world title ever again, which makes me question what they're doing.
Allegedly.
Is NXT next for Hangman Adam Page to hone his craft?
Oh, that's the one. That's the one. That
was a good shot.
One.
That's a beautiful shot.
That was a good shot. And
I hope they never try to replicate that.
They probably will.
Special.
Tino, Nitram, I'm gonna need you guys to take a back seat. This is me and Mike are having a moment right now. We gotta. What was in that needle?
What was in the needle?
What was in the needle?
What was in the fucking?
You saw him inject. I was like, oh my god, he's a sick man.
What was in the needle?
I swear to God, I would lose my absolute mind if Hangman was like, yeah, I gave him chlamydia in that needle. That's what that was. Enjoy the itch, bitch.
He hates him so much he went to a scientist to concoct the worst strain of fucking It's fucking super syphilis for Arizona State all over again, brother. Go Devils, bro. What the fuck?
What was in the needle?
What was in the needle, Hangman? My ribs hurt. What was in the needle? Oh God.
So, by far, that is arguably my favorite segment I've ever done. So, Mike, I ask you, my good brother, what was in the needle?
What was in the needle? What was in the needle, MJF? I don't know. He gave him something. Listen, he gave him he I'm gonna assume he swabbed every bench and railing from the New York City transportation system, curated the cells on a petri dish, injected them into a needle, into some saline, and then injected that into Hangman's cheek. So the next time we say Hangman, his cheek might be out to here, and he might have super syphilis, maybe something worse.
You know what's crazy is that I truly believe MJF is a sick enough individual that he would actually contract chlamydia into a needle and give it to Hangman.
Whoa, needle MJF.
I actually genuinely believe that about MJF, and he hanged the Hangman.
He did hang
the Hangman,
which has happened twice. Oh, the shish kebab picture. So little thing. I'm in a fantasy football
match, by the way.
I'm in a fantasy football league with like wrestling fans, and my profile picture is John Moxley with the kebabs in his head, and now I have to update it for MJF. It's great. So since me and Mike had our moment, reminiscing about the good old days where needles getting stuck into people, especially in Hangman matches.
Always in Hangman matches.
I don't know. Sick man, sick thoughts.
He's got a thing for needles, maybe.
Tino, what was your thought process? First off, what was in the needle? And second off, what did you think about this main event?
Well, what was in the needle? Who knows? Who knows? But I tell you, it wasn't Jordan's secret stuff. It was definitely something that's not beneficial for Hangman. Obviously that match was for the sickos, an insane match, insane fucking spots. I'm up at midnight just watching someone get hit with cinder blocks, getting dragged on glass. It was just insane. And honestly, I was all for it. Just like you had said earlier, Chano, MJF is that guy. Whether if he's playing a heel or a face, it doesn't matter. As us, the fans, we decide if we love him or we hate him. And I'm personally one of those guys who love him. He's great. I love the Hangman. I do wonder what's next for Hangman. I don't know if you guys seen the post show with TK, and they asked him about it. And he was kind of like, well, it was kind of verbal. It wasn't like written down on contract. So, and in pro wrestling, anything could happen. But it was a great match. It was a great match. I'm happy I stood up for it and took a nap earlier in that day so I could enjoy it. Because boy, it was long, but it was worth it. Like, not to go too much on a tangent. Obviously, super long card. Couple matches didn't belong, but once you got to that main event and you got that action, it was kind of like, all right, it was worth it.
AEW pay-per-views are for sick individuals when you have to have preparation before the show. I got to take a nap. I got to make sure I take my vitamins. I got to have energy drinks, coffee. I have to be well fed.
Because you got to be showered. You got to be showered already. This way you can go to bed directly right after.
Put the kids to bed already if you have kids. It may be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You got to put the kids away. Put them to bed. What was in that fucking needle? Look at that.
That shot was crazy. Oh my god!
And it was spewing out from the other side. He was wasting good chlamydia fluid to make it happen. Talking about
like
listen, I'm glad we could talk about
2010s in the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, listen, I'm glad we could talk about. I'm glad we could talk about matches that don't belong, like the Andrade Bandito match. But Netram, what was in the needle, and what you thought about the main event?
I don't know what was in the needle, but I will say the main event was worth staying up for. It was great. And what's next for Hangman Page? Mega heel. And I'm talking mega heel. So much of a heel that MJF looks face. Hangman is going to the dark side, and we're talking New Japan style, hanging people. And you want to know what it starts? It starts with the man that's taking all the EVP titles with Swerve Strickland. Because Swerve Strickland is fighting Kenny Omega for his EVP title. He already took the Bucks. You know who's an EVP and doesn't talk about it? Hangman Page. We're going back to that cycle. Mega heel Hangman versus babyface MJF 6 months from now. I said it first.
Respect. Honestly, what's really next for Hangman was a testing, blood, urine test to make sure that whatever MJF injected in his cheek
1,000%
is not for life. He's at the clinic. He's still waiting on the blood results, probably.
Hoping he doesn't get a call.
So I'm assuming he's going to be texting TK vigorously to figure out what was in the needle first off. And he's going to get himself double checked in 2-3 weeks to make sure there's nothing viral. You know what I mean? But it's Diddy juice. First off, that's crazy. And that being said, we are going to commercial. I'm not.
What's up, my fellow bad guys? Just when you thought we were down bad, Brandy's here to pick us right back up. Thanks to our partnership with SeatGeek, we got good seats and great prices. New users can score a fantastic $20 off their final ticket purchase by using the exclusive promo code 4SIDESOTR at checkout for any event. That's 4SIDESOTR. Tell them the bad guy sent you.
Yes, bad guy sent you. That's right.
Tell him the bad guy sent you. Listen, if your boss asks you why you was late, tell him the bad guy told me I can be late. It don't even matter. Just use it. He doesn't know who the bad guy is. He probably thinks you got problems in your life. But all right, listen. Talking about Revolution, that was a little recap. Not even recap. It was almost an hour. But that being said, out of 10, what do you guys rank this pay-per-view? Let me go first. I know you're going to say 10. Get it out your system. Just state it 10 so we can move on. Don't even explain it. Just give it a 10.
There was one match that didn't belong. It's a 9.
It was the Andrade match.
It's
Thank
the
you.
best match of the year so far. It's March.
Here's me. I sent you.
7.8
out of 10. Listen, I feel you. That Andrade match didn't belong. Tino, what did you rank the pay-per-view out of 10?
I guess I'm a little more high on it. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. I enjoyed it.
9.5. I'm probably close to the mic. I give it an 8 out of 10. It was a really good card though. And one thing I will say about AEW is it doesn't matter how much money you spent on your ticket, you get your absolute money worth. You get your money's worth completely.
Even if you get to the show late, it's fine. It's
fine.
I would have asked me how many booms the pre-show gets. It gets 5 big booms.
Listen, Big Justice keep hitting spears. That man is going to be wrestling at 18.
Boom, boom.
Brandy Savage gives it a 8.2 out of 10. Solid pay-per-view. But yeah, listen, Brandon was BP came in halfway through a pay-per-view one time, and he still got his money's worth. That's how much wrestling is on these cards. But now, the 0.2 is of major importance. That's hilarious. Threw me off a little bit. But yeah, now talking about AEW and Revolution. Tino, we've been talking about this all week. You said that AEW cannot follow up pay-per-views. Why do you think so? What makes you feel like they can't follow up?
Well, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier. I was, in terms of like with Will Ospreay, I wasn't super, obviously I'm excited to see him in the ring, but I wasn't excited to see him in the ring that quickly. And another thing I was telling you before, when we was talking privately, is AEW, to me, we don't know why Will Ospreay is after Mox. I had to remind you to why he was after Mox. They didn't really show or go over what happened and why Will Ospreay has the beef with Mox. It's one of those things where AEW just has the matches and it just kind of moves on. It was just too confusing for me. That's after a pay-per-view like that, I had more questions than answers when I thought that post-Revolution I would have more answers than questions like where's Ronda Rousey? Why is Will Ospreay in the ring so quickly? It was just kind of all over the place for me. So I guess I'm gonna tune into Collision. I've missed some Collision, so I don't know if that, but it was just too confusing for me.
Mike, do you have that agreement of AEW not being able to follow up their pay-per-views?
I heard Dynamite was a stinker last night. That's what I heard. I heard it was a stinker.
Listen. I love that we're all on a signed agreement to piss Nate Ram off as much as possible and see if we can get him to blow a gasket. Don't tell him I'm telling you this, but let's keep.
This guy stinks.
Let's see if we can get Nate Ram to blow an absolute gasket. All right, Nick, do you think AEW has a problem following up on their pay-per-views?
Absolutely not. Why? Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This is why commentary is important. Why is Will Ospreay attacking Jon Moxley? Because the Death Riders are the one who sent him injury in the first place. They didn't try once, they tried twice, they succeeded. This was mentioned in commentary. They also did a video package. Okay, where's Ronda Rousey? She is clearly training for her big fight. Once again, said on commentary, she probably attacked Tony Storm. We're making a mystery. Why is Will Ospreay back so quickly? Because he's the fucking man. That's why. He's the dang man. He came back and he showed I didn't miss a step. I did those legal roids and I'm in great shape. Okay? What else were we talking about? Everything else, great. Where's Hangman? Hangman's taking time off. Where's MJF? He did a video package explaining that it was his birthday. He celebrated for the first time. Who knows how long?
Tell him.
Tony Storm is out. Mina defended. Marina can't win without Ronda Rousey. I think they did everything perfect. You said it was a stinker show. I genuinely enjoyed it.
Of course you did. You know why? You know why you enjoyed it? Because it rhymes with bark. Because you are a mark.
Dog.
Mark. You are a mark.
You know the worst thing on AEW was?
Watching it?
It's the Darby Allin stuff. I hate to say it because I was so high on them. It's the David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd shit.
Here's the problem.
What are we doing with them?
Out of those three guys, Tony Khan has felt from the moment we saw Gabe Kidd pop up in AEW, Tony Khan has felt that Gabe Kidd is the guy. He's a guy that he's going to take to the next level. Gabe Kidd, kind of mid.
He's
not
Gollum.
even gonna lie. What?
He's Gollum. That's who I think of him as. This
so
is my precious, and I gotta leave.
I think Dave Finlay is way better as a guy that Tony Khan should be putting his stock in than Gabe Kidd right now. Because me personally, Gabe Kidd is win a continental championship once or twice, win a international championship if that still exists, and then that's his ceiling in AEW.
While I agree with you, it's not Gabe Kidd. I think it's Clark Connors. I think Clark Connors has everything to be a superstar.
I think so too. I mean, I've seen him out on the independent scene out here. He's pretty solid. He was for excited. Came up. This is his upbringing out on this area. So I got a lot more stock invested in those two than I have Gabe Kidd. And that coffin match looked miserable. I looked like one of the worst coffin matches I've ever seen.
They're losing way too much.
I wasn't too big on the coffin match. I actually totally forgot about the coffin match.
They lost the first 3 matches they've been in AEW.
All right, so let's move on. Obviously, I still don't know who Clark Connors is. Nobody.
I believe he's the one with the long hair.
I've seen
him.
Yeah,
he's the handsome dude. He's like that.
I think it's the one that Marcus described as looks like Hangman from Timu.
Oh, nice.
That's a fair comparison. That's actually a really good comparison.
So we had a little bit of AEW drama this week, not necessarily with the product, but for one of the wrestlers. He is a problematic man who tends to argue with Twitter trolls on a daily basis. He is someone who cares for his wrestling legacy, but not his overall legacy. The one and only Ricochet, former national AEW national champion. This week wasn't a great one for him. I don't know why people pick on Ricochet all day, but he leaves himself available and open to it. And as a public figure, sometimes you just got to know when to not say much. This week, Marcus, can you pull it up for me, good brother? This week wasn't a good one. Somebody said his acting hasn't improved, and Ricochet decided to say, I'm glad you got MS.
Oh my God.
And this was reported by absolutely nobody.
Yep. And that's caused another cycle.
And that caused another one. It's nuts because this isn't the first time Ricochet has gone viral for the wrong reasons. To this day, I have not seen Ricochet go viral for his wrestling since joining AEW. I have seen him only going viral based off his tweets and the way he be arguing with people. It's crazy because, and this is a very, very, very far reach, right? So please excuse me the amount of reaching that I'm going to do. But we don't give Hulk Hogan shit for his wrestling legacy. We give Hulk Hogan shit for things outside of his wrestling legacy. You know what I mean? If you was to take away all of Hulk Hogan's out of TV antics, he's a well-beloved man.
Yeah.
Put wrestling on his back.
He was a god.
Unfortunately, Ricochet doesn't have that in wrestling legacy that he thinks of to preserve his out of wrestling stuff. And maybe that is the fault of being in WWE for too long. So, like I said, it's an extreme reach. But when you talk about wrestling legacy and you follow up with going back and forth with people on Twitter, what are you doing? This only hurts you, right? So obviously nobody reported it. IWC kind of went off the walls because nobody said anything. All the major deflectors and detractors and people who report news went complete silent. SRS was traveling. Dave Meltz is on the payroll. Brian Alvarez, God knows what that man does at any given moment of his day.
Makes up shit.
It was quiet, and people are upset. There's like, yo, you guys give us wrestling news and wrestling updates, but for this, we understand that you have personal relationships with these people, but this is your job.
They're reporting, these journalists here. Let's. I'm right with Chano here. We can tag team this conversation right now. You're reporting on. This person got married. This person's having a kid. This person posted a picture of their ass in a bikini on Instagram. OMG, look at this new picture of Lola Vice. You're reporting all of this, but then you're not reporting on a guy in a wrestling company actively engaging with people. Now, mind you, look, Twitter is Twitter, and it's a terrible place nowadays, now that it's been overrun with bots and negativity and the things that there are. She didn't say anything awful. She didn't say, you should go yourself or anything crazy. She's like, his acting skills hasn't improved. Ha, ha, ha. So just some older woman on Twitter just commenting like it's Facebook. She thinks it's Facebook. You've seen worse on Facebook. I understand being a heel. Had he had said like, oh, be quiet, hubby, go eat some McDonald's, I don't think there would be this much vitriol for Ricochet. They'd be like, oh, Ricochet made a close, said a fat joke. I'm sure people would find defense to it, but that's a heel, right? Heels can make fun of people's appearances. You can't necessarily make fun of someone's ailment. Something like MS is not something to joke around lightly. And I think that and then the fact that the journalism squad decided we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But then they touch the apology Ricochet puts out following this tweet from the 16th of March. That seems a little, right? Like, I don't have to wear an aluminum foil hat for you guys to have a thought in the brain that can tell you why that is.
And it's worse because, like you said, they followed with the apology and they're like, yo, where was this energy yesterday? And everybody's like, oh, I was busy.
My bad. I was traveling. That's a lie. You have Twitter notifications on. I see you. Interacting with Wi-Fi. You have people coming on your show from Twitter to fight about news being reported as something I saw recently that happened with SRS and someone. Like, very strange behavior from a journalism company.
But even when you people go back and forth with people on Twitter, MJF does this quite frequently, and MJF does it perfectly. He stays in kayfabe all the time. He has told somebody to go ex-nay the big say. You know what I mean? But if you look in the comment that it's referred to, you're like, wow, look, what a guy, what a chum. And it's hard with Ricochet because he's talking about wrestling legacy. Working in WWE, I met great people, met the love of my life, but I felt dead inside going into work every single time. Felt dead inside. And listen, you're allowed to be unhappy with your job by all means. You know what I mean? We're all human beings at the end of the day, and you do things for a check to go feed our family, take care of ourselves. It's okay to be unhappy, but when you talk about legacy, right? Everybody wants to leave past a legacy. Like, for example, my legacy is my son. I'm sure Nitram and Marcus could say the same thing, that our boys are our legacies. They are absolutely the greatest thing we have done in this life. And if you're worried about your legacy, you're not going to do anything to pollute your legacy. And we have a question from God. You started to ring out on me.
Who do y'all think had the most toxic Twitter? Ricochet or his wife Samantha?
I feel bad for Samantha. She's getting death threats from cynical, parasitic brained people, which is that's not the point that this should be a hard look in the mirror for Ricochet. Let's be real. All of us as men can say at one point or another in our lives, we're living our lives the wrong way. We got to take a hard look in the mirror and say, you know what? This isn't the man I want to be. And at the end of the day, he's a 38-year-old man on Twitter arguing with probably any age ranges from 17 to 50 years old. Like, listen, bro, you're getting paid probably, let's just be conservative here, getting paid probably $1 million a year right now in AEW to wrestle. And if you want to call it what Tom Brady said, a fake scripted sport, you're getting paid $1 million a year to wrestle and perform and put a show on for people who are paying their money. Don't you want people to say, hey, man, I got to see that Ricochet dude that's crazy athletic in the ring and does all sorts of crazy shit? Or do you want to hear at the end of the day, hey, I went to that AEW show and I saw that guy Ricochet, the guy who bitches and moans on Twitter with fans all day and makes fun of people with disabilities? Wake the fuck up.
I got an NBA comparison, right? And Tano could film me on this. It reminds me a little bit of KD, right? Like
he was in my mind too.
NBA player, currently plays for the Houston Rockets. He has a basketball legacy, but it's always in question because who he won championships with. And KD is notoriously on Twitter. Like, if you call out KD, listen, let's not get this wrong. Sometimes KD comes off a little disrespectful, but KD will actually respond to you with thought, with a thought process, and be like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I had 3 turnovers, but who else was going to handle the ball? Who else was going to do this? Like, KD lives vigorously off of Twitter. He says it's like his morning coffee and his newspaper.
He loves and it. He's got 3 accounts.
He does have 3 accounts, but he's somebody on Twitter who actively goes back and forth, not in a disrespectful manner. And listen, these wrestlers aren't. It's not just Ricochet being the only person. Watch what you say, or the WWE marks will get mad at you. Ricochet is not the first person to argue with people on Twitter. AJ Francis does it. A lot of the AEW people do it. WWE people don't do it as often because their social media is monitored. So listen, like Mike said, Samantha Irving has nothing to do with this, right?
Yeah.
She does not deserve those threats. She also stands 10 toes down for her man whenever she has the opportunity. So it follows her. Unfortunately, it's not right. We shouldn't be threatening these people's livelihood. If you want to be upset and think somebody's an absolute cornball, by all means, that's shit right. But we can't be threatening to take people's lives.
Yeah.
Especially when they got listen. You are not the only person that has someone care about you. The person that you dislike or hate the most has a mother or father, a sister, brother, a son or daughter, friends, and people that genuinely care about them and their well-being. So you can despise somebody to the bane of their existence. If something was to happen to them, somebody will care, right? So somebody has somebody that cares about them. So we should not be threatening people's livelihood and existence. I know me and Mike has taken the forefront of this conversation, but Nit, Ram, and Tino, do you guys have anything to add to this conversation?
I don't. I'll go real quick, Nit, Ram. I don't really have much thought on it because I thought these two just hit everything that I was thinking, even with the KD thing. But I guess my only thought process with it, again, it doesn't make it right to who would say a comment like what Ricochet said, making fun of a disability. But I think I think it just doesn't work for Ricochet. Like even if he wasn't coming at that person like from ill intent, it was just to be a heel on social media and to get get some views, get some traction. He hasn't been on TV in a little while, just to stay relevant. I don't think it works for a star like Ricochet. Again, if MJF said it, he's really the only one who I think that could work with, even though it's horrible to say. But if MJF was to say something like that, it's kind of like, it's fucked up, but that's MJF. Someone like Ricochet, I don't think it works. I mean, even with his whole heel stuff, I mean, I think it's amazing with AEW. He's definitely, in my opinion, showed out way better in AEW character-wise than he did in WWE. However, the heel part of him just doesn't work. Like it's like he's one of those, like back when we were in high school or something, you see somebody like trying too hard, trying to be cool. It's like you could tell, it's like he's trying to fit in. Again, I don't think it makes it right, whoever was to say that comment. I just think it's just also because it's Ricochet and just doesn't fit his persona. That's really all I have to say about that. I thought Chano and Mike hit everything on the line. Well, I'm eager to hear what you got to say, Nitro.
Well, yeah, one, Chano and Mike, y'all did hit it on the nail. My thing about it is people want to compare it to the Hulk Hogan situation. I think when it comes to it, because I'm very big on, I like Hulk Hogan, fuck Terry, because they're two different things. Terry was not Hulk Hogan was not Terry. I think Ricochet's in a point where he lives his persona, and he constantly acts this way to get, a riz, and it bothers me. I'm gonna compare him real quick to somebody not in AEW or really pro wrestling at all, but I'm comparing to JD from New York. I have beef with JD from New York because he constantly uses the word retarded as an adjective to describe people. It bothers me. I have a kid who has special needs. To me, you can't apologize for something for that. You know what I mean? Because the way I would look at it is like, you're describing it in this sense, so you're describing it like my kid. I think when Ricochet took that step and said, you have MS, you can't apologize for that because you don't know what people who have MS are dealing with. You don't have family with people who are dealing with MS. So you didn't just offend the people with MS, you're offending the people who are in the family in a sense. And you can't apologize for something like that because you're using it in an adjective tone to where it's like it was supposed to be a joke, but it's not a joke from everyday people's lives. And I feel like when you do something like that, there is no coming back. I never, you guys know this. I'm very big on people say Hulk Hogan, I say racist. I'm very big on that. But, and I'm saying, but there's a difference between a character on TV. The Hulk Hogan on TV was never racist. It was his actual self. Ricochet is who he is online, on TV, in person. He doesn't quit. So when you do stuff like that, when you apologize, it seems so force-fed that we can't believe it because this is who you were. You're just trying to save face at this point. And I think it's a piece of shit move. I don't think there's anything he could do to come back from this. I'm a big AEW defender. I really am. But there's no defending this.
So the reason why I did preface saying Hogan by a big reach. I said big reach because Hogan wrestling wise and Hogan's legacy is very much hit or miss. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's gonna have an asterisk towards it
always. But I believe Hogan also benefited from not living in an era with social media. You know what I mean? God knows how much these older wrestlers would have been if there was social media and their thoughts.
I mean, we honestly watched it for a bit there, on social media when you would see like, wrestlers like JBL, like, liking and retweeting like, big muscular women, stuff and like, wrestlers liking, all of that kind of, expose kind of, shit on Twitter before, everything was convoluted, not to cut you off, Channel, but I think with something like this, I think the other conversation here is not necessarily an indication for this woman or this person with the comment about like, his acting hasn't, improved. I think, a lot of the times, like a lot of fans, because of social media, have become parasocial with their favorite wrestler. And there's these, groupings and things that happen. And it's like everyone attacks each other. And I think for wrestlers, honestly, I think going forward, I think the next 10 years, especially with social media, I think wrestling and wrestlers should maybe back away from it a little bit. And I think that would probably help since situations like this. I think now AEW needs to lock Ricochet's phone in a box and just let him stay out of the public eye for a bit, because this is not going to blow over for a while.
Yeah, and with that being said, we will hit our second commercial break, and we'll be right back with you guys after this message.
Dive into a world where every pinfall, every suplex, and every promo is celebrated in fashion. From the legendary 3-count trivia to the iconic bad guy wrestling, we've got the latest gear to elevate your wrestling wardrobe. Show off your passion for the squared circle. It's not just clothing, it's a lifestyle. Come shop with us and unleash your inner champion at foursidesofthering.com. That's foursidesofthering.com.
And your favorite wrestling analyst has returned back to his seat, everybody. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back.
He's gone. They got him. The Wyatts got him.
Oh, my God, he's back. I was so concerned. I thought the Met fans finally kidnapped you and saved you. But yeah. So, yeah, to add on Mike's last point, I'm saying this for weeks. People don't like wrestling. People like their favorite wrestlers, and if nothing's going their way, they don't like anything that's going on. And that's generally what it is. It sucks, but unfortunately, that's just what wrestling is at the moment. Everybody's just in it for their favorites. Enough with Ricochet.
Yeah, I don't want to see his bald head on my screen today.
AEW is in a really good spot right now, wrestling wise, right? Look at Ram, all cheesy. He's been waiting for an episode like this.
He's all giddy and shit.
AEW is really good right now, right? They're on a really good hot streak. They got really talented wrestlers, good storylines, good production. They're in a really good spot. Do you ever think that AEW can surpass WWE? And let's keep this short. There's a couple other things I want to touch on. So let's start with you, NetRam. Do you think AEW can surpass WWE? And I'll give you the reason why I don't think they will be able to. They won't be able to.
Not without TKO putting WWE for sale. I think WWE's at a mountain peak where unless AEW was to own WWE, they would never surpass it. That's just how I feel.
All right, Mike.
The writing's on the wall for WWE. Much like stock sold at its highest point. As soon as the WWE and TKO gets to the next level and that stock hits a record high, I fully expect them to sell to Disney. So I think at that point, AEW is not going to be able to match the power of the mouse.
All right, Tino.
I would say no, not. I don't think not, at least with a more creative team. I don't think TK should be booking. He needs a little bit of help making storylines and matches. Eventually, maybe, but not anytime soon.
And I see all your reasonings, and I tell you the real reason why AEW will not pass WWE is because WWE caters to children. And that is the driving force of WWE's viewership. AEW caters to older wrestling fans who are in love with wrestling. They cater to the Tainos, the Mikes, the NetRams, the Chanos, the Marcuses, the BPs, the Zombie Kings. They're not catering to Joan, Giuliano, Baby Roman, Grayson. You know what I mean? They're not catering to our kids. I can't show Grayson in AEW because I don't know if there's anybody's gonna be busted open when I turn to the channel. You know,
Bad in the cheek with the needle.
Yeah, I can't.
I like
that,
it.
you know?
I'm all bored. Listen, next time, just at that point, just stab him.
Yeah.
But
to be fair,
after
the Young Bucks FTR match, I was like, all right, it's bedtime because I knew it was about to start getting wild after that. I was like, go to bed.
It's not. Listen, 1,000%. And this is the last thing I want to touch on AEW before we do touch on some WrestleMania shenanigans, because I do want to touch base on one or two things that happened. MJF, clearly the face of the franchise for AEW, clearly the greatest world champion in wrestling right now. The man is just talented. It's not even 30 years old, man.
He just turned 30.
Well, happy belated, brother.
You got 15 more years before you have to hate him, Chano. You're good.
Honestly, I don't think I can ever hate him, Jeff. Watching from the beginning to the end is crazy. Honestly, as long as he keeps getting more disrespectful as he gets older, I'm cool with it. He'll be as trash as you need to be in the ring.
45, just saying the craziest shit you could ever cook up.
Hard ERs, I'm for it.
Some shit you'd only hear at a Waffle House in the Deep South late night or some shit.
Is MJF the next great big superstar? And when I say superstar, like the big, like the John Cena's, the Rocks, the Stone Colds, is MJF on that trajectory? He's already doing movies, small roles, but he's in movies.
Yeah,
is MJF that guy?
Yeah, I think 1000%. Like literally, you just said it. Like he's to me, he's the face of AEW. There's a couple other superstars on that roster who are potential faces, and I think even without the title wrapped around MJF's waist, you still look at him as the face of AEW. His persona, just what he brings to the mic, what he could do in the ring, whether if that's a 5-minute match, a 60-minute match, if he's a heel, a babyface, he is that guy. And him being 30 years old, he's just going to hit his prime. We haven't seen anything yet. Like you just said it, small roles, small little Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler now knows who MJF is, and he now knows that he is a wrestler for a wrestling company. He might not remember the name, but he knows he worked with someone who was a wrestler, and now you get some A-list celebrities, watching the product.
Mike?
I think if MJF continues to the trajectory he is on right now, that the 3 letters that both comprise AEW and his name, MJF, he very well might be bigger than the AEW letters themselves. In just a few short years, this guy has taken over this company. Whether it's political or not, it's talent, pure raw talent, because people buy into him. He very well could be bigger than that whole entire company, which is a good thing, but also a scary thing. But we'll save that for another day.
I like that.
Nitram, how about you, brother?
I think, sort of add to what Mike said, I think if you were to look 15 years from now, 20 years from now, when people start having those conversations of what's your top 5 or what's your 10, what's your Mount Rushmore, I think MJF will be the only AEW name to ever actually be mentioned, if mentioned at all. He's, and I say this with the most respect to MJF or the person I'm about to name, he's the Booker T of AEW, meaning to me, he is the biggest star the company has. I think Booker T was the biggest star WCW had, and clearly WWE was aware of this. I think he's on that level. He's, like Mike said, he's beyond the company, which is a scary thing and a good thing at the same time because he's so loyal. But if everything was to tomorrow, we found out TKO bought AEW. We know for a fact the one person who has a job secured, locked in, is MJF, and immediately in the title picture. And I think that's exactly where he wants to be. But I think if 10 years from now, we start talking about Mount Rushmore's, your top 10 of all time, MJF will be the only AEW name that actually comes about.
I want to twist Martin's words here just a little bit. He said if the TKO and WWE were to buy AEW, I would say in a rare freak incident where MJF's contract expired and Tony Khan didn't get to him in time and WWE swooped in and offered him the mother load of all deals and he left that company, I would give, and this is serious, and this could be the craziest out of left field thing I'm going to say, I would give AEW a max of 2 years before they're cooked. If MJF were to get taken away from that company, he's not, I wouldn't say right now, if he gets taken away right now, I think they're fine. But if it gets to the point where MJF does become bigger than AEW, those 3 letters, and WWE somehow swooped in and got him, that company crumbles because you can tell Tony Khan has all of the cards. Every chip, every stock is liquidated into MJF, Ethereum. You know what I mean? Like that is his crypto baby right there. And if he loses anything with him, I don't know what that company looks like, genuinely.
So one last thing for AEW before we touch on the WWE stuff. It turned out one of the bidders for WWE back in 2023 was AEW and TK. TK put a bid in. I thought that was pretty dope. That was pretty cool.
Surprised. It's business. It's smart. It's a smart play. Imagine that.
No, listen. Honestly, if he was to trade the Jacksonville Jaguars for WWE, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I mean?
In that situation, right? Let's say AEW did win that bid, right? And you got AEW guys, you got WWE guys coming in. A lot of WWE guys would be instantly headlines, right? MJF would still be over them. That's how I feel about it.
All right,
that
so let's
is a
now
great episode one day for us to dive into. I would like to say,
Yeah.
all right, let's touch on some WWE stuff, gentlemen. It's almost 11:30. Let's get into the WWE stuff. This Monday Night Raw, Tyner was bragging in the group chat. He's like, I told you, fools, Brock Lesnar was gonna come for Seth Rollins. You guys don't know wrestling. I'm your favorite wrestling analyst, favorite analyst. I'm the wrestling guru, god damn it. I'm the Dundada Ganoush. Who knows better than me? I told you, it's gonna be Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And Nova said, not today, fool.
He did.
Over strutted down. My man made Brock Lesnar look small, and I have not seen that in a very, very, very long time. I was uncomfortable with how well Brock sold for Oberfemi. It was uncomfortable.
Looked like a star,
superstar. And then Thanos said, "Oh, I actually know nothing about wrestling. I'm sorry, guys." And I said, "You are forgiven, Jon Snow, because you know nothing."
Michael Cole nails that.
Oh, no, of course. And now it's official. It's on the WrestleMania card. It is Brock Lesnar versus Oberfemi. And we touched on it last week. Does Ober need to win this match?
I don't think so. I think I don't think so. I think he was on Monday night, like that little couple minutes in the ring alone kind of made him a star. Like if you was on Twitter during that moment, a bunch of like it was tweeted all over the place from Sports Center from ESPN to Complex Sports. Like it was such a big thing because you don't see Brock get manhandled in that fashion. And then like stomping on him like he's the ruler, like he slayed the beast in 2 seconds. Like, but I think he doesn't need to win the WrestleMania match. Him going against Brock alone, you don't have to go over to get put over. And I think Brock knows how to do that better than anyone.
I would say if it's a strong loss where Oberfemi's and they're going blow for blow and they murdering each other, I'm cool with the loss.
Yeah, agreed.
Mike with the thumbs down.
No.
Why are you thumbing?
No, absolutely not. You just said it right there. I'm gonna counter your point because you've been countering arguing me all night, Mr. Tano, the counter arguer guru. You said he's already a made star because of this viral moment. Yeah, that's great. That's beautiful what they did on Monday. That was a beautiful bit of something that you can do in WWE that'll shock the world, and they did it. But what would even shock the world more is Oberfemi getting that win at WrestleMania, his first WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar can lose the next 10 matches and it wouldn't matter. Brock Lesnar lost to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the title. You are going to sit here, and this is what irritates the shit out of me about people saying that Oba should lose this match. Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar clean in the middle of that ring. And you mean to tell me the 6'7" ruler of NXT, 285 pounds, is not gonna body him at WrestleMania?
You know why?
Out of your mind. Then they lose. They completely lose. They do the Jey Uso Gunther from last year, and you completely devalue that stock that you just raised by making him lose to the 45, 50-year-old Brock Lesnar, former beast incarnate, on the grandest stage of them all. If this is the future,
You know,
you want this.
how?
This is it. This is how you do it. This is how you get it right.
You know how
That's not towards you, Kano. That's just me.
No, I get it.
No, it was
What they want.
It was personal. He said your opinion sucked.
Personal. Next week, you and me, the pre-show for Zombie King's match in New York. First blood. Blood.
Listen.
I'm gonna bite your.
I will say this. I definitely will say this. I don't believe he needs to win, because if you do it that way, where do you go from there? You know what I mean? When you talk about Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar, I see NetRam excited over there. When you talking about Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar, he already won the World Championship at that point. Obafemi still got the NXT like sweatsuit in his backpack. You know what I mean? My man's haven't even signed to a show yet. And listen, I feel you, it would do wonders for him. My only thing is, if you fumble his booking after beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, where the hell do you go? And NetRam, go from there.
He goes right to the top.
I want to agree with Mike and disagree with Mike all at the same time.
I hate you so much.
No, Mike,
go back to
I agree.
Drinking. Go back to drinking. At least I don't have to.
I agree.
Hear the tape.
I agree. Oba needs to win at WrestleMania, and they can let him win, and then listen to me, put him on SmackDown. Now, the Raw after Mania, right? Brock Lesnar is fresh off a loss. Paul Heyman hits that ring, and it lights a fire in Brock's ass, where Paul Heyman says the next match that Brock Lesnar loses is his retirement match, and he goes on a winning streak until SummerSlam, where till Gunther steps up to the plate and retires my boy. I think that's the direction they should go.
Take yourself
That's
a
all I have to say
celebratory
about it.
sip.
They won't do that though. How many matches? How many matches is Brock Lesnar going to have?
You have Brock squash everybody, bro. Dragon Lee
What's
squash.
that? Two matches
squash.
in like 6 months, and then that builds his equity.
Yes, squash everybody, Tano. Squash everybody.
I'm not worried about Brock's booking afterward. Brock's booking afterwards, whatever. I'm worried about if Obafemi doesn't win the championship 8 weeks after WrestleMania, everything is wrong.
But Oba wins, and it puts him in a title position to go against Randy Orton, who's winning at WrestleMania. Fuck Cody Rhodes, who's winning at WrestleMania.
Yes, but he would have to win the championship in 8 weeks. He wouldn't be able to have a proper feud, because he defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Time out. Oba's Femi's booking right after WrestleMania. He beats the Beast Brock Lesnar, and then you just send Oba, just like you're doing with Lesnar. You just send Oba Femi through that SmackDown roster. That's what you do. It's as simple as it does not need to be. It genuinely doesn't need to be complicated. Genuinely, it needs to be. He squashes probably Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title. Then he holds the U.S. title for as long as they want, drops it, relinquishes it, whatever. When they're ready to put the title on him, he'll already be a made man with a bunch of title defenses under him, and then he goes right to that world title picture on SmackDown. If that's the direction they go with, with the NitRam idea, which I like. That's the best idea that I've heard, because that ties everything together. That ties up the Brock Lesnar retirement tour that we know we're going to get for the road to Minnesota SummerSlam. And then that ties up the Oba Femi is the new beast. He's the new guy. He's the next big thing. He is not the next big thing. He is the big guy now. Oh my God, no. Ryback PTSD. Stop.
I think going from Brock Lesnar to the United States Championship is absolutely wicked, but that's a conversation for next week. This past Friday, our own Miguelito was at SmackDown, and after the Cody Rhodes Randy Orton segment, he texted us. He's like, "Do you feel WrestleMania now?"
I didn't say. What did I say? I swear.
And I said,
"Do you feel this story now?" or some shit?
And I said, "Absolutely not. This is rinse, wash, repeat from the last 2 years. Cody Rhodes loves getting his ass beat by older gentlemen on the road to WrestleMania. Yeah,
that's a great photo.
That's what happened to Cody. That is a great photo. This doesn't even look like he just beat up Cody Rhodes. This looked like Cody Rhodes was beat up and Randy Orton trying to nurture him back to health.
This is his
He's
dad
like, my boy, who did this to you? And it was him. He did that. He destroyed him.
I'm gonna give you. You want the one? You want the mic cap tonight? Because I can give you the mic cap from Friday Night SmackDown live from the Mortgage Matchup Center in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona.
Can you do it in 120 seconds?
I could do it. I could do it in quicker than that. So the crowd loved Jelly Roll at the start of the show. Then they turned on Jelly Roll midway through the show. Mixed reaction from Cody Rhodes throughout the entirety of the show. Loved Randy Orton. Vanessa Hudgens was there. Lola Vice's sister was the talk of the town because she ended up getting on the Obafemi ruler cam during SmackDown. It was an absolute marathon of a show, but it was a solid WWE show in person. Mishin, give that woman some goddamn credit. Give her some monies, human monies, because she carried Jade Cargill through that match on SmackDown, and the people love Danhausen.
I do believe that. I genuinely do believe that. But ultimately, I'm still not moved. Listen, I love the fact that Randy demolished Cody Rhodes, but ultimately, 2 years ago, Cody got beat up by The Rock. Literally got whipped through the belt, and then Rock gave the belt to his mother. Kind of weird. And then last year, John Cena went heel, and he beat the snot out of Cody Rhodes. And this year, we have Randy Orton being the snot out of Cody Rhodes, which is kind of weird when you think about it. Like close to 50-year-old men just beating the snot out of Cody Rhodes. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is Cody just letting his guard down around these seniors?
Yeah. But he respects his elders.
He trusts.
Yeah, he respects it. He gets his shit beat in like a good boy, I guess. But overall, we gotta wait and see what happens. Also talking about Randy on Monday Night Raw, they tried to do a quick little interview, but Randy was on the phone saying, "Yeah, thank you for reminding me who I am." Let's make this quick. Mike, who do you think was on the phone?
The prize fighter, Kevin Owens.
That's actually pretty fire. Tina, who was on the phone?
I would say Sami Zayn trying to remind Orton that there's more than one wrestling dynasty there. So, I think it's Sam.
Nitram, who was on the phone?
Do you smell who The Rock is cooking? It's who's on the phone.
All right, so you talk about it. There's more than one royal family. And that's fair. And I was talking to Channel on this on the phone. It's kind of weird to talk about the Rhodes as a wrestling royalty when there are two generations. Because as you know, Dusty is the son of a plumber. Cody and Dustin are the sons of a son of a plumber. So they're second generation wrestlers, unless Dusty's dad wrestled, which I doubt it. Second generation. So two-pronged question. What makes wrestling royalty, like a royalty family wrestling? And who's on the list? Make it your top five. And no luchadors, because if we go into Mexican lucha lore, we'll be here for eons. I was thinking about that too. Like when I was thinking about it, I was like, oh yeah, we can talk about the Mysterios. I was like, oh my god, then we got to talk about all the Santos. And
if I had to pick if I had to pick I guess a top five of wrestling royalty, if for me the qualifications would be like the generational like longevity of that family, and for me I guess that would be the McMahons, being the first kind of sports entertainment kind of thing. Of course the Anoa'i, I might be saying that wrong, but the Rocks, that's two. I would say the Hart family, of course. I would count the Von Erichs just because of how important they were, at least down for Texas wrestling. And I don't know, and the Rotundas, you still have. I think they're kind of always going to the radar. That would be my top five. The Rotundas is a bit of a stretch, but I'm just going based off of like lineage. I think is a second or third generation.
You're not that far off because it's the Express. I forgot the first part. It's the Express, the IRS, and then you have Bray and
Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, right?
Yeah.
And then that kind of breaks down, and then you have right into Bray, Bo. So yeah, and
IRS.
then I mean, man, you know, you got a lot of different royal families.
It's a lot of names.
When you said the Hearts,
I mean,
when you said the Hearts, I was kind of on the same tier with the Hearts with the Guerreros. Great wrestling royalty, right? 1,000%. But at the same time, they were at a stage where there's kind of no heir apparent. You know what I mean? There's
With Natty being like the last one, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's no heir apparent for the Hearts. There's no. I know. Eddie, rest in peace. His daughters are trying to get into the business. Chavo's kind of doing more producing now on the movie side for wrestling.
Yeah.
And producing matches. So the Hearts and the Guerreros too, giant wrestling royalty, are fading out. You know what I mean? So, and as long with the Von Erichs, I know they got a couple of boys on the way up, but that's not really mainstream for them. You know what I mean? And the Fatu Anoa'i family, you can say whatever you want about the bloodline. They keep pumping out children.
Yeah, they're probably
really
like the biggest
wrestling.
ones.
You got to think about if you go back to the history of like professional wrestling and McMahon and the territories. I mean, like, dude, the Samoans ran this wrestling shit. You know what I mean? You know, on this side of the globe, you know, this was there, you know, and then Vince, you know, sucked it all up, and them Samoans, man, he made
listen,
that
every
family.
generation of wrestling has a group of Samoans that just run shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
you had Rocky Maivia, you had Yokozuna, you had The Rock, you had Rikishi. Then you had a little
Haku, you know.
Yeah, then you had a little bit of a dead period, but there was nowhere. Rikishi kind of bridged the gap. But then you had what's her name? One of the Tamina. You had Tamina.
Yes,
and then the Usos came in.
Deuce and Domino.
Yeah, so the I don't want to Fatu family real wrestling. That is real wrestling royalty. I think it's hard for me to accept that the Rose is wrestling royalty just because of Dusty. You know what I mean? The second generation wrestling.
I mean, you can make the argument about Charlotte too, and Rick. You know.
Yes, but that's another thing. You know what I mean? It's hard to say Ric Flair is not wrestling royalty. You know what I mean?
You know, it's like I was telling you privately, Channel. I think you could kind of count the Rhodes just simply because of the gap between Dustin and Cody. There's like a 10-15 year gap. So you got, you know, Dustin in like the late 90s, 2000s, even though he still goes, but, you know, late 90s, 2000s. And then you got Cody's come up towards like the late 2000s, 2010s.
Dustin's
and all that.
Been wrestling since the mid 80s, big dog.
And that's why it feels like the Rhodes have been wrestling forever, because you have that big gap between Dustin and Cody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why it feels like the Rhodes have been wrestling forever when it's just three guys doing the whole entire work for the thing. But I do understand. I see God is back in the chat. Oh, God left the chat. I do see that. Listen, I respect Dusty Rhodes, obviously, but it's hard for me to be like, yeah, the Rhodes are wrestling royalty. But it's hard because that same conversation can't really be said for Ric Flair, because I know how big the players are in North Carolina's.
You know what it is too with Dusty, like I was telling you, it's kind of like the impact and like the influence that he had on so many wrestlers. So I think that's another reason to kind of count it as royalty. I mean, even though it's not, you know, other lineage under Dusty or Cody at the moment, but he's just it's the impact as well. I think you should count for wrestling dynasty or royalty. It's the impact you have on the business.
And I just want to say the fact that we named all these families, but no one named the Ortons. Guys, Randy Orton's he's a third generation superstar. Third.
No, and I'm glad that you said that, because it's like when he said that, he was like, there's more than one wrestling family. It's like, yeah, like Orton is wrestling royalty. There's Bob Orton Sr., Bob Orton Jr., and then there's Randy.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ortons is definitely wrestling royalty. And a lot of people overlook that, because a lot of new wrestling fans, they coming into it, Randy being an older gentleman. They weren't there when it was Bob Jr. causing mayhem and helping his son win matches.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick, Joe. Back in the day, that was his gimmick, dude. He would just hit people with the cast.
So, Niram, do you have what makes wrestling royalty? Because we named all these family. What makes a wrestling family royal?
I think when each generation has an impact. So while we say Cody's only a second generation, his generation did make impact in both. I think Randy's generation made an impact in both. But I think when it comes down to it, wrestling royalties, the Anai family, they made impacts in multiple generations. Goes back all the way to Peter Maivia. The McMahons made the biggest impact as far as it goes and as far as pro wrestling as we enjoy it.
So, quick question: you said each impact. Cody didn't really. You could make an argument that Cody didn't really impact wrestling until like 5-6 years ago. So you just telling me they weren't wrestling royalty until Cody stopped this shit up?
I don't think, and I'm saying this with most respect, Cody wasn't wrestling royalty at AEW. When he started his own promotion and was the backbone of the company.
But wasn't that
Cody
his
Rhodes did what his father did.
Theme song, though?
It wasn't his theme song until like a year or two before AEW.
No, but that's what I'm saying. When he was in AEW, that was his theme song. There's more than one royal family.
Yeah, but his theme song was always the same, but I don't think he started saying the royal family stuff until AEW. And you can correct me on that.
It was in AEW.
But that's what I'm saying. He wasn't. That's what I'm saying. If you're saying each impact, Cody wasn't really making an impact. I mean, he was from like a production.
Yes, he was. He helped.
He started a company.
No, Ice. I'm talking about this like a wrestling standpoint. You know what I mean? Listen, I understand he created it. Yeah, I gotta go to Arizona and give Mike a hug. He hates
jumping him. Settle down.
All right. So, do we miss Marcus, the voice of God tonight? Who is do we miss any royal families and what makes a royal family?
No, I think you guys got all of them. I think what makes a royal family is just lineage and just being consistent. Like you guys said, like the Anai family is consistent. The Rhodes are consistent. These guys are still Dusty's still wrestling. You know what I mean? And I think only Cody has kids. I don't even think Dusty or Dustin has kids. My bad. I said Dusty. R.I.P. Dustin has kids. Dustin has well, she's not wrestling, so it stops with Dustin, you know. But do you guys want to see Nick Rand go back to WWE? Imagine if Randy Orton was like, "Here's my phone call," and then all you hear is, "Here comes the money. Here comes the money." And then Chano's theory of Cody Rhodes getting his ass whipped by 50-year-old men just continues to be true.
What the hell happened to Tano? Dude, he morphed out into Marcus. Hey, Marcus.
No, he probably got a phone call.
Yeah, he's back there.
So
can I say something?
No.
Sure, buddy.
I think when we talk about wrestling royalty, like I said, it talks about impact. But a great example of like wrestling royalty and just being a second generation. Look at NXT right now. They have the birthrights, right?
Yeah. So are they all?
I don't consider any of those families wrestling royalty. Second generation, third generations, whatever it is, I don't consider them. The Finleys don't consider them.
Wow.
The Pillman Juniors don't consider them. The Santino Morellas don't consider them. Whatever Stax is doing, I respect it, but I don't consider him. Okay?
Stax said, I'm gonna get that money and the girl and have the greatest side quest of my life with my
NXT. I slept my way into the family. I love him. He's hilarious, but still.
Nah, listen, that is funny. That was actually my follow-up point. It was like, what about the NXTers? But
Brooks Jensen, it's got a father.
It's
Mulligan. What's his name? Mulligan.
Listen, there's a whole bunch of guys that are second generation wrestlers.
No.
Listen,
Brooks Jensen's dad was John Cena's sidekick.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Is he wrestling royalty?
No.
Or do you just need your parents to be a big star?
Just mentioning the Nepo babies right now.
So is that all that it is? You just need one famous parent to be a really good wrestler, and then you can just coast on being wrestling royalty?
I think if you could live up to your parents' name and keep it going, it lives up to royalty. I think that's where Charlotte Flair comes in the conversation. Ric Flair's royalty, Charlotte Flair's royalty, and if Charlotte Flair is to ever have kids, I hope that kid can carry the candle and continue royalty.
All right, well, listen, guys, we're above our mark. We're hitting an hour 45, and your New Yorkers want to go to sleep. So, guys, let us know. I'm gonna start with Netram. I know you want to keep drinking his moonshine. Netram, where can the people find you?
You can catch me on Twitter.
Shrimp.
You can catch me on Twitter at NITRAM_4SOTR. That's NITRAM_4SOTR, where I have been tweeting all night, and Mike loves AEW. Salute.
You know what's crazy and scary? That cup was full when we started, and that's moonshine, and it's almost gone.
This dude's gonna be talking to spirits tonight or something after drinking.
It's homemade too.
He's gonna call you immediately after they finish to continue the podcast, and no cameras running.
Dog, I'm going to eat dinner, eat some food, do some eating. You know.
All right, Mike. Where can the people find you?
People can find me right here. This I go here now. I am the size of the ring, brother.
Damn right.
No, you can find me at MOWM_podcast. I like I said, just be nice. I don't know. Just the world's on fire. Just be nice and stop bullying people on social media. And Ricochet, stay off social media, bro. Lock your phone up.
Fuck Trevor, man.
And the wrestling guru, your favorite wrestling analyst, favorite wrestling analyst, the guru's guru.
Oh, well, you can find me at King of Groove on Twitter, also on TikTok. Almost forgot the name of my own name right there. But yeah, man, another fun week of wrestling, another fun talk. Look forward to it next week.
He's a poopy boy. And you can't follow me nowhere, but you can follow us at 4 Sides of the Ring on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, 4 SIDESOTR on Twitter. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, MySpace, AIM, anywhere. Listen, and basketball playoffs is almost here, and I want to tell you guys right now, Knicks in 6, first, second, third, and the finals, baby. The Knicks we won.
Let's go, Charlotte.
Baby, and that's all that matters. This man talking his schmidak. They're not even gonna make the play-in. It's the Knicks in nowhere, baby. Knicks in nowhere. Honestly, guys, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for rocking with us. We love you guys. We hope to see you guys next week.
All of that.
Oh yeah, and the Voice of God, sponsored by. Thanks for watching. The episode produced by the founder, MH. Oh God, this is what God does. God gains an ego.
That's a mouthful, bro.
See you guys next week. Peace, love, and happiness.